Now to the pound dollar. And here on the pound dollar, what I'm actually going to do is talk you through this analysis quickly. We had a very similar situation. We just looked at this chart at the beginning, right? The market broke below our previous support level, signaling a possible reversal. And in last week's analysis, I said that if this market broke below that level, I would be looking there for possible short trades. And that if this market got to the level I have my blue box on now, which I can't see the numbers for, I know at the bottom of it is 1.2711 though. I said if the market gets there, I'll be looking for possible long trades on lower time frames. What we're going to do though, first, before we go down to a lower time frame and look for those entries, and I share that with you guys, is take a look at last week's clip so you know I'm telling the truth. So let's take a look at that and I'll be right back. So now I'm prepared, right? As a trader, as I just told you, the plan is on the pound dollar, me making a plan, preparing, staying ahead of the market, is that if the pound dollar pops out of this zone, I'll wait for a possible entry reason if we pop back into this zone. That's one version of what might happen. Preparing for all these different scenarios is part of being a professional trader. So if the pound dollar pushes down, breaks below this low, and closes below this one, then I'll be looking here for possible short trades. And I'll be looking for those short trades until we get down to our next level of major support between 1.278, 1.2711. It's an area I'll be looking for possible long trades. Welcome back to this week's video. And so last week, the market was exactly right here when I was making this prediction. Let's see what happens from there. We push down. What do we push down to? Exactly to the zone I said I'll be looking for possible long trades out of. So what did I do? I dropped down to smaller time frames. Here we are on the 4 hour, pushing forward, pushing forward. Let's check the 1 hour. We don't have anything yet. There's not an entry reason that I see. So we'll drop back to the 4 hour. We need to get back down into our zone. And as we push forward here, you can see we do actually get back down into our zone right here. So let's drop down to a lower time frame now and see what we have. Well, we have a possible double bottom setting up. What do I need for double bottoms? Well, I want to see the market telling me that we have a possibility of pushing higher. I want to see that with a green candle. So we have our double bottom. Let's see if we get a green candle. We do. So right here would be my trading opportunity. As I said in last week's video, I'm looking for long trades here. We get this nice double bottom. I would have a stop loss just below my level. Entry right on that green candle. Target back up at previous resistance right below that. Remember, I said if we break below this zone, it's an area I'm looking for possible resistance from. So let's see how the market played out. Messing around a bit and then finally pushing up until eventually, maybe hitting our target. So this market pushed up, hit the target quite easily. Although it was a long period of time. If you're a day trader, you probably wouldn't want to wait around for this. But personally, I'm a swing trader, so it was fine to stay in this trade for a couple of days. Now what's happened though? As we said in last week's video, we're looking for long trades from here. And if the market breaks below this, then I'll be looking for possible short trades, trend continuation on that higher time frame using the exact strategy I taught you earlier in the video. And that's what we're looking for here. Let's see about a 4 hour time frame. Not much here yet. Let's go back to the daily. We're up into our zone, back down to the 4 hour, and we'll check and see what happens here. And check out what we have here on the 1 hour. Now, I did not place a trade in this zone because I didn't get an entry reason, but we do have a 1, 2, 3 move followed by a reversal, just like we were talking about the reversal trading strategy using support and resistance from earlier in the video. Let's see what this market did. Bounced back up a few times here until finally pushing down into our zone. And right now, I am actually long on the pound dollar because we are in this zone. The trade is not played out yet. I'll exit out of this. Let me see where this trade is actually. I'll put it back on the screen. I'm obviously a little bit in profit here, but it's based on the same concept. I'm looking for long trades out of this area. I think we could get another bounce since we are in this support area, at least up to our previous resistance level. So now hopefully you can see how big of a role support and resistance and using it correctly plays into profitable trading. Knowing where these key levels are is massively important if you want to become profitable. And that's the reason you need to make sure that you are taking notes during this video. If not, feel free to rewind the video. It's on YouTube. It's absolutely free. Rewatch it a few times. Listen to those 3 strategies because they're strategies that have helped me tremendously through my trading career. They're strategies I teach every member of our paid programs. And right now, if you've enjoyed the video so far, please go ahead, click that like button for me to help out with the YouTube algorithm, and hit the subscribe button because we come out with content like this each and every week. Let's continue now, though, and talk through the rest of the top 5 major pairs. Let me give you guys my ideas on what I'm thinking moving into next week. We're going to dive out to a daily chart. Dive yet again. Just kidding. We're going to dive out here to the daily chart. I'm going to go ahead and remove my position so it doesn't bother me while I'm teaching you. And we're going to take a look at what's expected out of the pound dollar next. So what do we have now? Now we are here, floating around in our support level. What's the third step in our process of consistently profitable trading? I talked about this last week in depth. We need to prepare. First, we need to find our levels of structure. We need to have a solid entry reason in those levels that we use time and time again. Then we need to prepare. Right now, I'm already in a trade, but what I want to do is prepare for if this market heads down. So I know what I'm doing if that occurs. To prepare for if this market heads up, so I know what I'm doing if that occurs. And the way I do that is spotting out my new levels. So on the pound dollar, if we move down dramatically, what are the levels I'm going to be paying attention to for possible trades? Well, the one that stands out for me, and I'll go ahead and pull this bad boy down, is right around this area. Let me get out another black line. This is going to be my next zone of possible counter trend. If we get down here, we're in a counter trend reversal levels. Why? Because this level is the previous level of support. Was it tested multiple times? Yes, it was. So that gives me everything I need to use this as a level that's likely to push the market around with extreme accuracy. So, or extreme prejudice, whatever you want to call it. And I'm ready for that now if the pound dollar pushes down. What about if the pound dollar pushes up? Well, I have my zone here that if the pound dollar pushes up, we'll be in a period of consolidation. This will be the highest resistance level. I'll still look for possible short trades out of the level around 1.278. But if we head higher than that, I now have to change my level to right here. You see, we've had a 1, 2, 3 move down and a very impulsive move from this area. So that means if the market pushes up above this area, I'll look for a pullback into it and a continuation. Does this look a lot like what we were looking at on the blackboard earlier in the video, or what? We're looking at this previous resistance to become possible support. And if that does happen and we continue higher, we'll be looking here for our possible counter trend trades because we have a level of resistance. Here, the market's played around a bit. If we get back up to it, I'll be expecting it to become resistance again. So that's my analysis here on the pound dollar. We'll take a look at how it plays out next week. So stay tuned for that. Be subscribed, hit the notification bell so you don't miss it. Aussie dollar, what are we looking at here? Last week, we said this was a possible level of support. And if we got a trading opportunity in this zone, I would be taking it. I did not. Let's drop down to smaller time frames. There was no reason to actually enter this trade, as on the 4-hour chart, we just waterfalled right past this level. With that being the case, I was not ready to get into a trade right here, but just full transparency, for the EAP training program, we're actually involved in a trade right now in this level. I'll move out to a daily chart. I did notice that we have a nice level, a little bit lower, looking like here and here, which this market just bounced out of. Since we have had this complete waterfall, I do believe that the Aussie dollar is ready for some type of relief. I think this level of structure would be a great place to have that relief. I'm not looking for a complete reversal in this market to head much higher. I think we're overall going to continue this downtrend, but I do believe I can get a bounce at least up to these previous support levels, and that's the way I'm trading this right now. But in terms of the video we had last week, we just went right through the level. What am I expecting now, though? Because again, at this point, I have to prepare. What am I going to prepare, or how am I going to prepare? I'm going to prepare by pointing out the key levels I'm going to use for support and resistance. What are those key levels? Well, we just broke below this area here. So the first thing I'll be doing if the market pulls up is taking short trades from this area. If the market breaks past it, I'll be taking long trades from this area. The next thing I'll do if we continue lower is look for possible long trades out of 0.6863 between that and the even handle number of 6,800. If we continue pushing higher even after breaking this level, I'll be looking for resistance around 0.747. And actually, I'm glad you pointed that out. No, did you notice this though? I missed a level. It's right here. If we've had a major push down, a 1, 2, 3 move, and the market's going to play around a bit in here, then if the market gets back to my previous resistance between 0.7412 and 0.7369, I'll be looking there for possible resistance. All right, guys, so right now,